Hello, Raw Mithril here once again, and it's back to Mega Man 10. So, 2 down, 6 to go. Commando puns, commando puns. Yeah, I got nothing. Go. Yeah, commandos. That's kind of a tricky one to come up with anything for. So let's just storm his desert base. Hey, Desert Storm, there you go. So first we're introduced to bomb photons. They try and drop bombs on these mines, and once those are gone, we're introduced to awry G. But if you sink into the sand a little, you can take them out pretty easily. A bit of a strange point that I would like to make here, though. As you sink down, if you start firing, you can see just how deep down you are. But as much as I'm firing, I'm not hitting anything. Yet, once the mine's gone, there's another awry G to deal with. So it's like they don't even exist until they're revealed. Unless, of course, they were already on the surface like that one. So if you don't want to deal with the buried ones, just don't let the mines go off. That's simple enough. So here I usually like to go with the upper path. It's a bit more fun. Kind of an intense ride, but fun, and you can get through it pretty quickly. You just have to keep an eye out for what's in front of you. There we go. With things like that, you can actually get through this stage pretty quickly, even with just the Mega Buster. But it's still a pretty intense stage. There is a lot that can go wrong. So here's where the branching paths meet up again. By destroying this one mine, we can get a few shinies. But that's the only mine that really helps you. The rest just reveal more awry Gs. And in fact, on hard mode, all they reveal is bottomless pits. Who wants to deal with that? This is Tsurare Stamp. It's basically Mega Man 10's answer to Big Eye. We will really embarrass one of those in a little bit. We also have Furebon, but I'll talk about them a little bit later. Right now I need to deal with this sandstorm trying to push me into the abyss. So Furebon is kind of the up and down enemy of the game. It's a bomb that comes down on a parachute. And the sandstorm physics even blow the parachute around, so that's kind of a nice touch. So far so good. Just one more sandstorm room to go. So let's ride the winds. And now to really embarrass a Tsurare Stamp. If you're in midair when they jump, it'll be a long jump, but if you're on the ground when they hop, it'll be a short one, so you can manipulate them that way. But this one's just badly placed no matter what. So time for Commando Man. His weapon of choice is the Commando Bomb. And as we can see from his intro, he can also shake the ground. So much like his stage, this fight can go fairly quickly, but there's also a lot that can go wrong during it. You want to try and stick toward the middle of the room as much as possible, otherwise he's likely to try to corner you. If he does a high jump, he will shake the ground when he comes down. A short jump, not so much. But really the main one you have to watch out for is when he just fires a commando bomb from the ground. That's where you can get in real trouble, especially if he corners you with it due to the range of the explosion. But there we go. Commando Man is down. Does that mean he went absent without leave? So with that we get the Commando Bomb. This is the weapon for the game that destroys special walls. You can command it to go up or down, I think up to 2 times. Once it lands on a surface, it has a radiating explosion, and that has a decent range to it, so it's a fairly useful weapon, actually. So with that, that's 3 down. This stage ramped up the difficulty a bit. Plenty of outtakes for everyone. Enjoy! And then it's time to fly. Let's just ride the wind. Let's just jump in a pit. And the parachutes are actually affected by the sandstorms. I didn't expect you to come up that fast. Bugger. Oh, yeah, go ahead. That was a rush. I love doing that. I don't love doing that. But really the tricky part is you don't want to be too terribly... Bugger! Much like the rest of the stage, this fight goes fairly quickly. You just have to be careful and not do that. Now here I usually like to take the upper path just because it's more fun. A lot more thrilling. That thing drop energy for me? Nice parting gift. Just one more of these segments to go. Ride the winds. Or don't. See if I care. Just keep an eye on how he jumps. Oh, you... Yeah, he loves to corner you too. You pest. Uh-oh. That's not good, is it? Oh, and right before this segment... Met. 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 Mega Man 10's up and down type enemy. Met. Met. It's a bit more fun. Met. Now here I usually like to take the upper path. Does that count as a met? Let's make it official. Met. So yes, this stage has a major branching path, so let's have a look at the road not taken. This room seems to mirror a room in the other path, except the positions of the Met and the shield attacker are reversed. A nice bit of a fake out there. So this path also has a sandstorm room, but this one's working against us. So it goes a bit slower than the other path. However, until we get to these Fure bombs, it's not too terribly dangerous. And hey, there's even an extra shiny for us to get. And we're back to where the paths meet up, so that's pretty much all there is to that one. So now for the difficulty differences. First up, easy mode. After all that, you'd think Commando Man on easy wouldn't be so bad, but he's kind of a strange case, really. Unless I'm just missing something major, there doesn't really seem to be much of an appreciable difference between easy and normal for this guy. If anything, he seems to take a little longer between attacks, so he leaves himself a bit more open. But he doesn't lose any attacks, his bombs still have the same kind of range to them. So it's still just as dangerous a fight, just maybe you have a bit more of an opening to go against him is all. So, yeah, it's not so bad, but it's kind of weird. Not too much that really makes him feel that much easier. So, yeah, time for hard mode, and hard is not strong enough a term for this one. I'm really not looking forward to doing this one again, but here we go. So on hard mode, Commando Man really doesn't give you a lot of reaction time. You either have to be really careful or really lucky during this fight, and usually a combination of the two. His new little move where he does a short hop followed by a ground pound and a shockwave, that can be really tricky to get around. But worse yet is when he does his ground-fired commando bomb like that. There's so little time to react to it that he may as well be punching you with an explosive at close range. Oh, thank gods that one's over. Yeah, case in point, that was the second to last challenge I actually completed on my file. The only one I have left is Mr. Perfect. The fact that this one took me longer than any of the Wily bosses on hard mode, that should tell you something. So this one was a bit more problematic than the others so far. Not the hardest I've faced, but certainly not the easiest. I give Commando Man a good solid 5 out of 10. This indeed feels like a middle-of-the-road stage to me as far as difficulty. If things go well, it goes very well indeed, and you can actually clear the stage fairly quickly. However, there are lots of areas where things can go oh so horribly wrong. The main danger in the stage itself are the sandstorm areas. If the wind is pressing you forward, the danger is losing track of where you need to jump, as well as, of course, all the enemies in the way. Tripping over Mets is a common issue here. If the wind is working against you, however, it likes to do so in areas where you run the risk of falling into a pit or being pushed into the death spikes. Thus, you really have to be wary in those areas. As for Commando Man himself, the rate of his attacks can make him a bit tricky to deal with. His ground-fired bombs are especially annoying, as you don't get much warning before explosion in your face. If he manages to corner you and do that, you're basically doomed, as even if you dodge the bomb itself, the blasts from the wall will hit you. His hitbox is also a bit wider than most Robot Masters, so in close quarters, it's easy to run into him. Proto Man and Base possibly have at least a marginal advantage, as their sliding and dashing abilities give them a speed boost to get under Commando Man while he's jumping, but that's really about it, so he can be tricky for everyone. That said, a middle-of-the-road 5 out of 10 for Commando Man. With that, that's the end of this one. Thank you very much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.